And it's time for business here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broom. Now, unemployment as a percentage of the labor force is expected to tick slightly to 4.0% in 2023 from 3.9% in 2022. That's according to a new report by Fitch Solutions. It pointed out that unemployment will hold at 4.0% and if accompanied by easing inflation, will see a rise in real wages for many households. Here's more.
While this is a marginal increase that should not have much bearing on consumer incomes, the unemployment rate, it said, has been rising since 2017 and is expected to continue on this path over the medium term and beyond. The UK-based firm pointed out that the size of the country's labor force is reduced by low life expectancy at around 64.3 years of age, which is itself a result of the low level of government expenditure on healthcare and the prevalence of waterborne diseases and chronic illnesses such as HIV/AIDS. A shortage of highly skilled workers, it added, also means employers have to import workers from abroad to fill the gaps in the domestic workforce. Furthermore, Fitch Solutions said the high levels of household debt remain a risk to the consumer outlook as it limits the future of availability of debt.
Now, household spending is set to reach 107.8 billion cedis this year, higher than the 101.9 billion cedis posted in 2019. According to Fitch Solutions' latest report dubbed Ghana Consumer Outlook, spending will expand to 112.1 billion cedis in 2024. Nonetheless, it said a stubbornly high level of inflation and fiscal consolidation policies will weigh on real purchasing power for many consumers in Ghana. Meanwhile, lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Kawor, is looking at the development from the economic perspective, said the higher expenditure is an indication of more confidence in the country's economy.
When we look at the amount, 107.8 billion cedis within the Ghanaian economy, it is very significant. It might mean that more production will have to go on. There is going to be increase in job creation within the economy because during this period that consumers are buying the products and they are spending more, it means that there is a need for us to produce and more hands are needed to make sure that we fill the gap that is being created. When you look at the impact on the economy, that will lead to job creation and that will lead to more growth in the GDP to household expenditure ratio that we have. And that means that there is the need for government to make sure that they restructure the various sectors of the economy. For example, agriculture sector have to be restructured. The manufacturing sector have to be restructured to meet the current needs of the economy in terms of demand for goods and services. Production of raw materials and importing will not be the way to go. We need to industrialize our agricultural sector, and that would be able to help us. It also means that government will now have to also control the fiscal, the expenditure phase, because if you reduce your expenditure, it will go a long way to help the citizens in buying goods. So inflation will come down, and once inflation comes down, the citizens will end up being better off.
Now, the Ghana Hotels Association has petitioned the Speaker of Parliament over what it describes as unfair treatment by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. According to the association, the PURC has unfairly increased water and electricity tariffs for its members, making it difficult for them to operate. Dr. Edward Akanyamike Jr. is the president of the Ghana Hotels Association. He explains the reason behind the petition.
First of all, to get the PURC to revert the 167% tariff increase for water for February, March, April, and May. Secondly, We also want the Speaker to seek justification from the PURC on why they have migrated hotels from the non-residential category to the commercial category. And thirdly, we also want the Speaker to get the PURC to ensure that there is proper stakeholder engagement in future discussion on tariffs.
And in all your engagements with the PURC, what has been their explanations?
Basically, they are justifying the increase with the fact that we have been migrated to the commercial category. But Pius, that migration was announced in May 2023, way beyond the February 2023 that we are talking about. So you migrated us without prior notice to us in February 2023, and then the announcement itself came in May. Now, with the letter, the response they gave to us, they are saying that that is where we are, and so that's what we're supposed to be paying, which we disagree. We've tried various ways to address this matter. Unfortunately, this is how far we have come. I personally would want to see the Speaker's attention as the final point of redress. If the Speaker gives us that attention and holds a meeting with the PURC and the rules on the matter, will take the decision on the matter, I would want to see it as the final declaration of the issue.
Now, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is warning clearing agents at the port to desist from the use of false documents with the aim of helping importers to evade custom duty at the port. The warning follows an intelligence in February on two companies and importers that had falsified trade documents on their bills of lading in clearing goods from the Tema port. Commissioner for Customs Alhaji Idrisu Seidu Idrisa warns that persons involved in such practice shall be made to face the law. Here's more.
Agents and local shipping lines have denied the state of huge sums of revenue. According to the Commissioner of Customs, Alhaji Idrisu Seidu Idrisa, some agents processes customs declarations with inaccurate particulars with the aim of paying lower customs duty and taxes. He warns that the division is on high alert to apprehend all culprits.
We are currently investigating both the shipping lines and the agents, importers, to find out the degree of collaboration or connivance that took place. Because if at least one, in some instances, we saw an agent putting the writing and deceiving the importer plus the government, it means that there is some collaboration between those agents and the shipping line who have admitted that they have done that. We are equally expanding the investigation to cover, 6 years earlier, because we have realized that, and other companies, because it may not be the only companies who are doing that. And there's a possibility of prosecuting all those involved. And we want to give a warning to everybody that you cannot hide. Whatever happens, it will come out.
The Commissioner has also hinted investigations are being expanded to fish out all who may be part of such syndicates for the necessary sanctions to be applied.
We were going down. Our system have information on all those, all the declarations that we are suspecting, and we are continuing with it. So we are looking out for more, and we are also proceeding to deal with writing demand, or write demand notices to those who are owing, and also look at the criminal aspect and prosecute those who are involved.
The division has begun the process to prosecute the importers of goods that have been apprehended at the Tema port.
And that's all for business tonight. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Brome. Have a good evening.